Hi everybody, I am Trey, one of your average film enjoyers, and I am here to tell you that you can win over $500 worth of movie stuff. So if you're listening to this podcast, you're a huge movie fan. Obviously, you wouldn't be listening if you didn't love film like me and Jagger. And so me and Jagger, along with three other content creators on TikTok, Film Gunch, who we've had on here, Wes, who we've had on here a couple times, and then one of our good friends, Real Takes, we are all joined together doing a giveaway currently. And how you join this giveaway is you go to each of our pages. We all have the giveaway video pinned. And you'll go on to that video. You'll give us all a follow. We each account is tagged in every video. And then comment down below. Tag 5 of your friends. And if you tag 5 different friends in all 5 different videos, then you can get up to 30 entries. 30 entries. You can get up to 30 entries. So, but you're like, Trey, well, you're telling me about this, but I don't even know what I can win. Well, I'll tell you what you can win. Real Takes is donating a 4K Harry Potter collection, Blu-ray James Bond collection, I believe a 4K collection of the Planet of the Apes films, and the first 3 John Wick movies in 4K. I'm donating 3 criterions of your choice, so whoever wins get to choose 3 criterions, and we'll mail those to you. Jagger, my co-host, is donating a bunch of international DVDs. Gunch is donating Don Hertzfeld and I can't remember the other guy's name. Well, the animated show. It's a very limited edition animated sketch comedy show. He has a bunch of steelbooks of all 3 seasons, so he's donating those. And then the biggest one, Wes, is donating a region-free Blu-ray player. So, if any of those items interest you, again, go to any of our TikTok pages. Go to me and Jagger's TikTok page, Trey the Film Noob, Jagger Film Reviews. We have the videos pinned on top of our pages, so go check them out. Follow the instructions. The giveaway ends when we are all 5 of us at 1,000 followers. And me and Jagger are the only ones that haven't hit 1,000 followers yet. So please help us get us there so we can give away all this movie merchandise. Now, let's get to the podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Average Film Enjoyer Hooptober. I'm one of your average film enjoyers, Trey, and today, unfortunately, because of other plans, Jagger could not join us today, but I'm very excited to introduce my good friend and co-host of the Registered Cinephiles podcast, Ben. Ben, how are you doing today?
What's up, Trey? I'm doing really well. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to have you on today. Ben is one of my great friends. We've been friends for a while, do a lot of watch parties together. And today we will be discussing Jordan Peele's directorial debut, Get Out. Absolute masterclass in horror. So Ben, if you want to give your opening thoughts, and then we can get right into it about anything we want to talk about the film.
Yeah, I mean, for a directorial debut, it's actually insane that he was able to pull this off and make it the film that it is, and how much praise it gets. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Especially if you look at directorial debuts and the different ones. This is definitely S tier. I mean, you got stuff from Dan Gilroy. We got Nightcrawler as a directorial debut. Yeah. This is just so impressive, and I mean, obviously we have Peele cemented as one of like the top 3 like modern horror guys. He's compared a lot to Robert Eggers and Ari Aster. And I was wondering for you, where does this rank among those other directors and those movies, and where does Peele rank as a direct? Because I know that's a huge topic, Peele versus Eggers versus Aster. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that, and where does he rank for you?
For now, I'm gonna say number 3, just because I've only really seen Get Out, and I've only seen Nope once, and that was when I was in theaters.
Yeah,
have not seen Us yet. So when I get to check out Us and revisit Nope, then maybe he'll rise up in the list. But for now, he's number 3, because for like Eggers, I have The Lighthouse rated very highly, and for Aster, Hereditary rated very highly. So yeah, whenever I get the chance to check out Us and revisit Nope, then
yeah,
might be.
Yeah, I'm always interested to hear people's opinion about that, because I feel like it's hard to compare the 3 of them, because the 3 of them have very different and their own distinct styles of horror. But the one thing they have in common is they always try to layer in on, I mean, they're a part of the genre like called elevated horror. So horror with layered in like deeper themes. It's stuff we get a lot nowadays. But they always try to layer in these deeper themes within their horror movies. And with Jordan Peele, and I think we see it the most in this film, themes of racism and a lot of themes of Black empowerment and all this kind of stuff. And I think we see that a lot in this film, especially with how the stuff goes down. And I know for some people it can be pretty on the nose, but I'm wondering for you how the deeper messages of this movie came up for you, and how like you responded to that, and any thoughts you have on that.
Yeah, on first watch, I definitely noticed the themes immediately, because it was like super noticeable for me at least, and like I like how Jordan Peele decided to like implement that in his film through the his direction that he decided to do. And I'm like, oh wow, that's me going into it, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be like a horror, fun time, whatever, might be good. And I'm like, at the end, I'm like, wow, this was a lot more than I expected.
Yeah.
And a lot of deeper rooted meaning in the film. And I was like, wow, this is became one of my all-time favorite horror movies after first watch, and it still is. Like, I'd say top 10. Yeah,
100%. And something that is one of my favorite things to talk about this movie is that Jordan Peele actually shot 2 different endings for this film. So obviously we get the ending of Daniel Kaluuya's character has killed the whole family, and a cop car shows up, and it's his best friend. But Jordan Peele actually shot a different ending, a second ending, to where the cop car shows up and it's an actual cop. And Daniel Kaluuya's character goes to prison. And I think that, personally for me, I would have liked to see that more, because that, I feel like, would add... It would just be a cherry on top of this commentary that Jordan Peele is doing, and the deeper themes of a broken U.S. Justice system, and how disenfranchised the African American community has been for the past forever in the U.S. And I'm wondering your thoughts about that. Like, if it would have changed your perspective on the movie if it had actually been a white police officer that showed up at the end there instead of his best friend.
Yeah, it definitely would have changed the movie for me. I mean, it would have just touched on more the fact of like how racism is still a problem in the U.S. considering that ending, if it would have been the final cut.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, still probably would have been a 5. I don't know. I mean, if there was a way to see it or watch that ending, then I would obviously check that out. But
I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe it might be on YouTube. Jordan Peele's like alternate ending to Get Out. I believe it might be on there, but I'm not 100% sure. I know I've watched it somewhere. I just can't remember if it was YouTube. But yeah. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I'm saying, like, I'm about to go have to check that out sometime then.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting. And obviously we get a lot of, like, this is a horror movie where historically the horror genre has not gotten a lot of attention from big award ceremonies such as like the Golden Globes and the Oscars, just because there's a lot of like pretty like they may still be a good time, but they're pretty shitty movies in the horror genre. But then you get stuff like this that is actually like should be getting nominated for different awards. And specifically in this film, we get a lot of really, really outstanding performances. And I'm just wondering, because I know you watched this a couple days ago, who is the standout performance for you? Like, who, when you were finished with the movie, you were like, wow, that person was amazing?
Well, I mean, you have your obvious picks like Daniel Kaluuya, but, like, also I'd say another standout performance was from Lakeith Stanfield.
Yeah.
And what made me say that was the scene where Chris took a picture of him in the flash, like, you know, sent him off, and like he just starts freaking out, and like that scene, like, oh wow, that just shows how good of an actor he is. It's insane.
Yeah, Lakeith Stanfield is super underrated here, and he is actually he's on my underrated actors. Like, he's been in a lot of great stuff, and he's always giving a great like performance. But I think this, like, obviously Daniel Kaluuya, standout performance for this film. He does an absolutely amazing job. I mean, he does an amazing job in every Peele he's in. But I wanted to shout out Allison Williams, who plays Rose, his girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The scene, there's two scenes that always, like, I'm just astounded by from her. So it's a scene where Daniel Kaluuya is trying to leave, and she's like, fake, spoilers ahead, be warned. I mean, we should have said that at the beginning. We've been spoiling this whole movie. There's a scene where she's rummaging through her purse, like, super stressfully, to find the keys. And at this point, you think she's still on Chris's side. And she's giving an amazing performance there. And then within, like, a second, her facial expression just goes deadpan. And you're like, oh, shit, she's with them. That moment, and then the moment where she's on the phone with his best friend, and she's giving all these emotions through her voice, like of stress and sadness and all these different emotions, but then it cuts to her face while she's talking, and it's just like straight. Both of those scenes always give me the chills, because I'm just like, how do you do that? That's the one I always like to shout out, because I don't think she's talked about enough for her performance in this movie. And are there any last thoughts you want to shoot out there before we finish up about Get Out?
Well, to add for her performance, the scene where she's eating the cereal but the milk separately is insane. Yeah. I couldn't even act that myself. That is pure psychotic behavior right there. Yeah. If you couldn't tell. That is...
Yeah, that was wild.
She's probably a milk first, cereal last kind of girl, you know?
Yeah, it's just psychopath. Yeah, so go check out Get Out. Jordan Peele's directorial debut. If you like this film, you can also check out Us, which is, I know Ben is getting around to watching in the next couple days. Outstanding film. Not as good as this one, but it's still solid, 4.5. And Nope, which I have at 5 stars, I believe. Really, really solid creature feature. But Get Out is streaming right now on Netflix and Peacock. Ben, do you want to tell the folks at home where they can find your podcast and anything else, any other content you do?
Oh yeah, you can find my podcast, The Registered Cinephiles, on Spotify. Me and my host Adonis just recorded our 6th episode last night, and it dropped this morning. So if you want to go check that out, perfect, awesome.
Yeah. Go check out The Registered Cinephiles, one of my favorite pods out there right now. Hopefully we'll get Adonis on here with us sometime. Maybe The Registered Cinephiles and the Average Film Enjoyers can do like a joint episode sometime. Thanks for coming on. You can also find Ben at Ben_watches on Letterboxd if you want to see anything else he's watching. He usually has some good stuff to say in his reviews. Thank you for joining us today on The Average Film Enjoyer. You can find me on all my socials at Trey the Film Noob and that's TikTok, Twitter, Letterboxd, really anywhere I'm Trey the Film Noob. Thank you for listening today, and we hope you have a spooky rest of your day.